All right, so just gonna be a really quick breakdown on how to draw people in perspective. Do any of you draw? Okay. Do you have trouble drawing people in perspective and like weird, like seeing them from above or seeing them from below? And okay. So these are the basic concepts on how to draw people in like any perspective. So to draw people in perspective, you have to understand two things. It's how you draw a person and then how you set up the perspective. In general, a starting point on how to draw people is you separate it into like 8 blocks. That's called the eight heads. So like you have your head here, all right? And you come around here, and the clavicle, which is your bone right here. And then this will be around where the belly button is. And this is the like the groin area. Not the bottom, but more like the center part of it. And then this will be the bottom of the knee. And this is where your feet are. So in general, the ideal proportions are supposed to be like that. That's how they'll teach you if you go to like school or you read a book. That's how they're gonna break it down to you. And then like when you're setting up a perspective, who here has worked in like 1, 2, 5-point perspective? You ever set that up? Okay, so when you're setting up a perspective, like when you're setting a perspective, this is like the horizon. Yeah, that's like if I'm looking and I'm looking at the video games and that's like straight in front of me, that's my horizon. Like you're looking at something and it's like straight at what's in front of you. That's what this is right here. So that's like exactly what I'm looking at, straight down in front of me. So it's the 8 head. Now if you Google this kind of stuff, like the most basic stuff, this is what's gonna really help you. It's like the foundation. If you learn this, then you'll get really good at everything else, because it carries into whether you're drawing anime characters or like realistic characters, or even if you want to just draw like cartoony characters. And then this is, well, this is 1-point perspective. So just write that down if you want to Google that later. These are like the base things you should learn when you're drawing a person. All right, so let's say this is the paper you're going to draw on. That's your horizon line, that's the thing that you're seeing. This is your vanishing point. And if you look up the 1-point perspective, you'll learn about like vanishing points and all that. So, okay, so if you wanted to draw a person in this 1-point perspective, you're gonna draw in you're gonna like insert your cube into that perspective right there. Can everyone see the cube? So then basically you just break down the cube into the 8 heads. So like find the center of the cube. Not really the center, about right there. So based on the 8 heads, the center of the body is like the groin area. So you're automatically going to know that the groin area of the human is going to be in this center part. Like right there. Like right there. Okay? It's a little off, but so then let's go 2 heads down. This should be the bottom of the knee right here, and this is going to be the bottom of the foot. Belly button. And learning these landmarks about the 8 head thing, that's why it's so important. Because as you're filling it in, you have to know where each part lands so that you can kind of match it. So it's the belly button. Cool. But yeah, because when you're looking at it, you're following these lines here, right? So let's say this is where it hits the top of the shoulder. So the top of your other shoulder should be around this area right here. Right there. Just sit about right there. Knee. Oh, right there. So this line right here, your horizon line, everything that's above your horizon line, it's like you're looking at it from underneath. So you're gonna see under the chin, you're gonna see under the armpit, but then when you go underneath it, you're looking at everything from on top. So you'll see the top of the foot, see the top of the knee. I know I'm going real fast, but is this making any sense? Like, is it okay? Okay. So if everything is above this line here, you're gonna see everything here. So because this is like above, you're going to be seeing everything from below. So you'll see the bottom of the feet. But yeah, I'm like really short on time, so if you have any like questions, go ahead and throw them out. Yes, sir.
When do you do like cover chibi heads or anything like that?
Yeah, when you're doing anything like the chibi style or anime style, what you're doing is you're taking that 8 head method and you're just kind of stretching it out and making your own proportions, and that's how you get like a really cool, fun looking style, is you're just taking realism, which is that base 8 head thing, and you're just manipulating it. So it's yeah, you're squashing down the body and then replacing it. So it's more like the head of a chibi is taking up like 6 of 8 of the heads, and then the rest of it is like the body. But everything is based on realism. So you should learn this first, and then you can mess around with it. But you should still apply, like, okay. Get over. Okay, so if we're gonna do a chibi character, you're still gonna wanna apply a perspective to it to get some kind of what does Miku look like? Like when you go to the artist alley, you'll see a lot of people, they'll just draw their characters, but they won't apply any perspective. Any drawing that you draw or anything you see should be like you're seeing it through your own eyes. And when you see something through your own eyes, you're always seeing it in some level of perspective. So if you go to any artist alley, you go online, you see a lot of these drawings, they'll draw the character and it's flat, like you're seeing everything from straight on, like every spot is the horizon line, and that's not right. That's why everything looks flat. If you apply just the most basic perspective to your drawings, no matter how goofy your drawing is, it will look just like infinitely more. So these are just some like practices that I do. It'll look like infinitely more interesting. Something as simple as just learning 1 point, 2 point, or for fancy 5-point perspective. Oh, thank you. I want to make sure there's nothing inappropriate in here. So with enough practice, you don't even have to put down your grid lines. Like I do these without any pencil work or grid lines. But see, like this is a 5-point perspective. So my horizon line is about right here. So everything, I'm looking at it from underneath. That's why you see the bottom of everything. And this is, you're seeing the top of everything because my horizon line is here. So that's like where I'd be looking straight on, you know? Now, if you didn't apply any of your perspective when drawing your figures or people, everything here would just be flat and it would look really plain and really ugly, and you want to avoid doing that. So it's really simple, but it'll make like a world of difference in your drawings. Cool.
All right, let's get a big round of applause for Crystal Taco.
Oh, because you weren't able to help her out? You run a table, dude.
What are you talking about? I did. I told her about marketing,
Oh,
branding.
I was gonna say you just being lazy, you just
We've
wanted me
been
to
talking
answer.
this whole time.
Shit.
Thanks, Saki. You running your table too.
So no, I don't know. It sounds like you know what sells. What's the problem? Because you know that the buttons sell. You know that the smaller prints or the less expensive prints sell, and you know everyone knows fan art sells more. So you already know. So what's the dilemma?
The most dilemma is I want to do more original things.
Oh, you want to do more originals.
And it's like the fan art that I have is like 4 years old.
So the fan art you have, is it of stuff that's no longer popular? The fan art that you do have, is it stuff that's no longer popular?
It's like sort of. It's one of those things where it's not popular, but even now it still sells.
Okay. So my approach when doing fan art, and I don't know if I even told you this, but my approach when doing fan art is I like to do things that are legacy. So Pokemon has a long legacy. So if you spend the time and effort to do fan art or something like this, you can sell it forever. Overwatch has a shelf life, and this is going to go bad soon. I believe My Hero Academia, I think that eventually has a shelf life, and that's going to go away eventually. Dragon Ball is legacy. Sailor Moon is legacy. Cowboy Bebop's legacy. What was that?
No, it's like that was on TV just yesterday.
Oh, well, that's what I mean. Like, it's something that you can make, and it'll always sell everywhere you go. So the way my approach was, I want to push my original stuff, but I need to make sure that I make money. So I have a little bit of fan art. But my fan art that I do is going to be legacy stuff that I know will sell, so I'll always make my money. But I'll use these as vehicles to push my originals. So for you, see what sells the most, keep that, keep using that to make your money. Because you say you've been doing this for 4 years, so I assume that you're making your money doing this, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's enough so that you can keep on doing it. And then you'll use that, the stuff that does sell, and then gradually push in your original stuff. Because I used to have a whole wall of fan art. Yeah. And then I had like one line, so 4 prints of originals. And then eventually I went 50-50, and then I just tossed it all out eventually. And yeah, I did have a little inventory of the fan art, but I couldn't do anything with it. I tried selling it at like $5, and even that wouldn't move. So I know you want to push out more original stuff, but as you're transitioning, just see what's selling the most, and you have to keep that in there. Because even I would never go to a con without these 3, or at least this one. Yeah. Yeah, but when I switched over from all fan art, and then I put this big wall up, even though this was these 3 big ones, were any sales? Damn. So even though I still had these to support me, my sales did drop a little bit, and it took a while for it to pick back up, because I needed to learn how to market this that was behind me, how to push it and like pitch it, you know. So yeah, I guess just
like I said, it's like something they could relate to.
oh, with your originals, that's your business. I'll let you decide what you want to do with your originals.
Like for instance, like Pokemon, they could relate to it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Something like that.
Well, it hits every demographic. That's why,
Yeah, exactly.
like literally every demographic,
Yeah.
Pokemon hits. So
Where it's a thing that I made myself completely, but whenever somebody sees it, they ask me where it's from.
yeah, they say I hear that a lot. Like they'll come up here or they'll go through my portfolio of all originals and they'll say like, "Where's this from?" And I'm just like, "Oh, those are my original characters and concepts." That's why anytime somebody comes up, I open the conversation with saying, "Everything up here is my original characters and concepts." I say that over and over and over and over. And I even have that up there, and then you have to openly say it, and then they'll stop asking you.
It's kind of funny when they look completely shocked. It's like,
Well, people like originals. They do. Like, I mean, it may not sell quite as much, depending on the show you go to. Comic book conventions, you'll sell a lot more originals. Anime conventions, fan art is where all the money is. Yeah. But yeah, it's a real balancing act. It's a pain in the ass, man. Like transitioning over to putting originals. Like your numbers are gonna start dipping a little bit, but if that's what you want to do, it's yeah. When I started doing Artist Alley, I went to Anime Expo and I had a notebook and I walked around and I took notes for like 3 days straight of what everyone was doing, what they were selling, how they were pricing everything. And I saw a lot of people were selling original art, so I knew eventually I was going to be able to do it and make money off of it. But one thing I noticed is everyone who was doing that had like a couple of really, really good, elaborate pieces of fan art. Yeah, so I was like, well, the secret is make sure you have that fan art to make your money so that you can push your originals. That's pretty much the structure of it. How you go about it is going to be all trial and error.
that is completely weird.
Oh, how do you handle the business end of it? So like where I make my money is I do commissions during the weekdays and then I do conventions on the weekends. And so it's a pretty decently steady flow of income. In regards to the business, anytime I want commissions, I really push it out there and be like, hey, here's a new post. This was a commission by somebody. I'm open for commissions in like bold letters. But no, the business side, you just have to like assault social media, basically. And YouTube really helped me because it's just like free advertising. I record every commission that I do, and then when I post it on YouTube, I let people know that that was a commission and that I'm open for commissions. You have to really let people know that you're for hire. That is usually like the only way. Because nobody's ever going to come to you. That's just, I mean, until you're like crazy famous, nobody's ever going to come to you. You have to be like, pull them towards you, yeah. Why? What do you have trouble with? What do you have trouble with?
from all this is social media because I'm like, I've just always been crazy inconsistent.
You trouble with social media? You're what?
I said I've always been kind of like inconsistent with it. I don't really know what to post or how to phrase what I post. I don't know.
Yeah, there are a lot of videos you can research about, because I'm not the greatest with social media. Like my YouTube channel, I have about 36,000 subs, but I get almost no views. Like my view count is so low. So I'm using it more as a platform for me to get more commission work versus me making like a YouTube channel where everyone subscribes and watches. No, I'm using it as a way to advertise, to hire me. And with social, it's got to be every day. It's got to be every day. But I mean, it's like when you think back, when you think about it, it's really not that much effort to post on social media. It's a lot of effort to make like a YouTube video, but like just post online that you drew this thing and that you're available for hire. If you could do that every single day, is it really that much work? You know what I mean? Like if this is going to be your job. So where are you posting your work right now? Instagram, Facebook? Instagram is, I think the thing, well, you should post everything on Instagram, but I know like sketchbook stuff, rough sketches, people on Instagram like that a lot. I just post everything because it's just like, I mean, I used to be really bad posting on social, you know, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, the amino apps. I used to use Snapchat. I don't use it anymore, but I was like, all right, man, thanks, man. Yeah, it used to be just like, oh my God, this takes so long, you know, so much effort. And then you have to learn all these programs. But I'm like, this is my job. Like if you go and work an office job and they want you to learn, like if you've never used Excel before and you go to some office job, they're like, you have to learn Excel. You can't just be like, oh, fuck it, I'm done. You have to learn it, right? So, I mean, if this is what you want to be your job, you're just learning another program for it. I mean, it's just part of it. So I know that's the way I see it for like social. So, and huh?
No, I just said that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and you know, social is your advertising. Advertising is how you get your money, and money is how you turn this into your job. So it's like, you said you had issues with the business side. My entire business is based online. My online store, when I started drawing in general, I just posted a drawing on YouTube. Somebody liked it enough to hire me for a job. I recorded what I did for them, posted it on YouTube, and then I was like, hey, I'm open for commissions. Some people saw that, and then it just kind of grew from there. Even now I'm doing that. Like, I'm trying to branch out into drawing cars for people. So like, here's a car that I drew for somebody the other day. Now, I'm trying to get like a bigger portfolio of cars. So I posted it, and then I recorded myself drawing it, and then I put that both on YouTube and on Instagram. And I always write, this was a commission, I'm open for commissions. Yeah. And then that's how I got work. If I wasn't posting on here, I would get no work, I wouldn't get money, and I wouldn't be able to do this as a job. It's the business, it's part of it.
And then you have time to do art in between all of that?
Yeah, you have to. I don't sleep a lot, but I mean, and then you put it into perspective. Artists before us didn't even have this option. They used to have to pay money to go to like a gallery or here at a convention or something like that, or a show, is like their only option of showing off their work. So the fact that we can do this for free and then get jobs for free off of this is like cheating. It's so overpowered. You know what I mean? So once I realized that, I was all like, I have no excuse. Yeah, like I have no excuse. So I hope that does that put it into perspective? You're like, you have all this power right here. You don't gotta pay a galley like $300 fucking to, you know? And then they take a commission of what you sell, you know? Yeah, because this is free. So it's just like,
all you have is time.
yeah, that's the thing. Like once you start getting a lot of commissions, then you start running out of time, but you're getting your return, you're getting your money, you're getting your advertising, you're getting your followers and your client base. You're building that up. But when you don't have all that stuff, you just have a bunch of time. And that's when you should really be assaulting this. All right, guys, so I'll give you a quick rundown on this convention. It's at the Fresno Fairgrounds. That's Fresno, California. This is my hometown. I don't get a lot of hometown shows, so when I do, I always like to support, especially this one, because my friend runs it. So want to show him, a little support. This is their 7th time, their 7th year, this show. Well, no, not 7th year, 7th time they've done. I think 2 or 3 years they did 2 shows a year, but now they broke it down to once a year, which is better. When you do it too often, I think it like lessens the impact of both versus just having one. That's really good. Anyway, I have a corner artist spot, and it was really inexpensive. I believe I paid early bird, which was $90. It might have been $80. I know when you buy full price, I think it's $50 more. And then I don't know how much vendor spot costs. I didn't even check. Inline artist spots, not the corner spot like I have. Of course, they're going to cost a little less. Everyone's been doing pretty well. I know that they had pulled back the amount of vendors, or vendors and artists. They pulled back and took some out, which is the opposite of what a lot of conventions do, where they add more vendors. So our tables used to be pressed up against each other. Now there's more space in between us, behind us, and in between the tables. So they definitely must have taken a decent amount of artists out, which is good because the fewer artists there are, the heavier the money flow is spread among who's here. So that's good. And then he added some tables with cosplayers, which, you know how I feel about certain cosplayers, about how they block traffic. There's even a section about this side of my table over here that was blocked yesterday because the cosplayers were doing some goofy shit and it was just blocking all the traffic. So it kind of sucked, but I believe having cosplayers does bring people to the convention. So give and take, it brings people, but then they can clog up the walkways if they're being inconsiderate, which not all of them are, but some of them are. But overall, this con's good. If you're in the Central California area, you want to give this one a shot. I believe this is, numbers-wise, I don't have the head count, but numbers-wise, I believe this is the biggest one in Central California for anime shows. So, yeah, if you're in driving distance of this, Fresno, and driving distance will vary. To me, driving distance is 6 hours maximum. For you, it could be 10. For me, I wouldn't drive any more than 6 hours for a show like this. But yeah, that's it. That's all I gotta say. Traffic has been okay. Parking is free for vendors. They have parking out back. So you come in, you unload your stuff, you drive out back, and you can just park for free, which is good because it means you don't gotta fight for parking out there and it's not gonna cost you money. So, burp.